Have you ever wondered what it might be like to be inside a cell? Imagine the genetic material, the cytoplasm, the ribosomes. You'll find those in almost all cells, prokaryotes and eukaryotes. Eukaryote cells, in addition, have membrane-bound organelles. All of those structures and organelles have different functions, but cells are not isolated little worlds. They do have a lot going on inside them, but they also need to interact with their environment. It makes sense that to keep a stable environment inside themselves, otherwise known as keeping homeostasis, they must have some control on what goes in and what goes out of them. A very important structure for this that all cells contain is the cell membrane. By controlling what goes in and out, the cell membrane helps regulate homeostasis. It's the homeostasis king. Let's take a look at the cell membrane. You could have a whole course on the cell membrane itself. It has amazing structure. It has signaling abilities. But to stick to the very basics, it's made of a phospholipid bilayer. Bilayer means two layers, so you have these two layers of lipids. Now, these lipids, they're called phospholipids, well, they have a head that is polar, and they have a tail that is nonpolar, making them quite unique. Some molecules, they have no problem going through the cell membrane, and they directly go through the phospholipid bilayer. Very small, nonpolar molecules, they fit in this category. They're a great example. Like some gases, oxygen and carbon dioxide gas, those are great examples. This is known as simple diffusion. Also, it doesn't take any energy to force those molecules in or out, so it's known as passive transport. Simple diffusion moves with the flow, meaning it moves with the concentration gradient. Molecules move from high concentration to low concentration. So when you hear someone saying that something's going with the concentration gradient, that's what they mean. They mean it's going from a high concentration of molecules to a low concentration of molecules.
Hi Flatipus! Welcome to Flatinoon, where future top-notchers are made. I'm Jasmine Capoy, and today we'll explore passive transport, simple diffusion, and facilitated diffusion. Now, come on and join me as we make our journey to Top 1. So right before we start, I'm gonna present to you our intended learning outcomes. So by the end of this discussion, you, the audience, will be able to first define passive transport and describe its importance in cell function. Second is to differentiate between simple diffusion and facilitated diffusion. Third is to identify molecules transported through diffusion. Fourth is to describe the role of the phospholipid bilayer in diffusion across the cell membrane. Second to the last is to explain the factors that affect the rate of diffusion. And lastly is to analyze the biological significance of diffusion and maintaining homeostasis. Oh wait, sorry, that wasn't the last learning objective. The last one is to apply the concept of diffusion to real-life biological situations. Sorry. Ever wondered how oxygen gets into your blood without you even trying? Watch this.
What if I told you your cells do this in autopilot, and it's called passive transport?
Come with me and let's connect it to our daily lives. What do you think is happening here? Is energy being used? Comment your guesses down below.
It's passive transport.
That's the idea behind diffusion, a movement without energy. Now, let's dive into science! Passive transport is the movement of molecules across the cell membrane, from high to low concentration without using energy. It helps cells exchange gases, nutrients, and remove waste.
Think of the membrane as a gatekeeper. The phospholipid bilayer lets small, nonpolar molecules slip through, but blocks larger or charged ones. It's selectively permeable, meaning it chooses what gets in and out.
Let's explore how things get in and out of a cell. It's a bustling world at this scale. We'll start with the simplest method. This is simple diffusion. Imagine it like sneaking through a loosely woven fence. Small, uncharged molecules like oxygen and carbon dioxide, the essential players in respiration, can easily slip between the fatty molecules that make up the cell membrane. They're moving with the flow from where they're crowded, the high concentration, to where there's more space, the low concentration. No energy needed. It's all downhill. But what about bigger molecules, or those with a charge? They can't just slip through the membrane's fatty barrier. That's where facilitated diffusion steps in. Think of it as using a special doorway. These doorways are transport proteins, specialized molecules embedded in the membrane. They act like escorts, guiding larger or charged molecules like glucose across the membrane. Again, it's passive transport. No energy is used. But the molecules need a helper to navigate the membrane's complex structure. The glucose is still moving from high to low concentration, just with a little assistance. So, whether it's a simple slip through or a guided tour, the movement of molecules across the cell membrane is crucial for cell survival. It's a constant dance of molecules, ensuring the cell has everything it needs to thrive. To further simplify, here's a table showing the key differences and the molecules found in each type of passive diffusion. Let's go through each part. So for the type, for the simple diffusion, for the molecules, it's O2 and CO2. So does it need protein? No. For energy? No. Let's go to the facilitated diffusion. What are the molecules? It's glucose and ions. So does it need protein? Yes. But does it need energy? No.
So which transport does glucose use? It's facilitated diffusion.
Now that we've explored passive transport, let's dive into what influences how quickly molecules move across cell membranes. Think of it like a crowd leaving a concert. The speed of the flow depends on several factors. First is the concentration gradient. This is the difference in molecule concentration between two areas. Imagine the difference between a packed concert hall with high concentration and the mostly empty street outside with low concentration. The bigger the difference, the steeper the gradient, and the faster the molecules will move to even things out. A huge crowd will rush out much faster than a small group.
Higher temperatures mean molecules have more kinetic energy. They're bouncing around like excited concert goers. This increased movement leads to faster diffusion. Think of a hot, sweaty concert. People are energized and moving quickly to escape the heat.
And lastly, molecule size. Smaller molecules are quicker movers. They can navigate the cellular environment more easily, like nimble individuals weaving through a crowd, whereas larger molecules are slower, like people struggling with bulky bags.
Let's revisit our concert analogy. A hot, crowded concert, high temperature, high concentration will result in a much faster exit than a cool, few-attended concert with a low temperature and a low concentration. The size of the people, which is the molecule size, also matters. Smaller, more agile individuals will exit more quickly than those carrying larger instrument bags. Diffusion helps maintains balance. It lets oxygen in and carbon dioxide out. In the lungs, it absorbs nutrients in the intestines and filters waste in the kidneys. Can you name a place in your body where passive transport happens? That's right! Passive transport occurs in our lungs, kidneys, and cells. Oxygen and carbon dioxide exchange in the lungs, ion filtration in the kidneys, and nutrient absorption in cells. Are you guys happy that we are now done with our lesson? That would be all for this lesson, but before we end, let us check if we have achieved our learning objectives. Checklist flash! Define passive transport? Check! Compared simple versus facilitated diffusion? Check! Listed examples? Check the check. Discussed rate affecting factors? Check again. And lastly, explain real life relevance? Check, check, check! Before we wrap up, comment one example of passive transport happening in your body. Let's go, guys! And remember, strive, excel, and succeed. This is Platinum, where future top-notchers are made. See you on the next review.